Alright, hey guys, I'm just going to do a real quick video here real fast, showing you some 6.4 power stroke modifications. Some of you guys might be in the hunt for a 6.4, have a 6.4, want to do some things at it. First thing I'm going to say is if you think you're going to go out there, buy, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 worth of parts, put it on here, and the thing's not going to be a ticking time bomb, you're sadly mistaken. You have some reliability issues you got to take care of on the bottom end, your valve train, some cylinder head work, so on and so forth. I'm going to go through, if you have a truck that is a daily driver and you want reliability, I am going to go through a few quick couple modifications that I have. I'm pushing 200,000 miles on my truck now. No problems. Make sure, I am going to say this, routine maintenance is key. Make sure you're up on your oil changes, you're up on your fuel filter changes, and your other routine maintenance. That is the key. A lot of guys, they'll sit here and tell you, oh, I put an intake and an exhaust on my vehicle and I got 50 more horsepower because the box said so. No, you're wrong. Okay, there's things that tie into that. If you're gonna, I'll get into that as we go on. First thing I'd like to show you here is tuning. Tuning is key. Tuning is crucial. Emissions are killers on this truck. I am going to say it. I am not going to advocate or recommend anybody rips the emission components off your vehicle, but they do destroy your vehicle. And if you find yourself in that situation where you remove that, make sure you have a programmer that is capable to keep up, that is capable to override the absence of those emissions components. Otherwise, you will be going nowhere. You will be in limp mode, and you'll be sitting there wondering, what the heck? Why ain't I going anywhere? Okay, so that's first things first, is tuning. Secondly, your low pressure fuel pump. That needs to be replaced, especially to achieve the appropriate rail pressure for your goals, for my goals. It's a very good upgrade in general to do, period. Lifetime warranty, you can't go wrong there. If yours takes, your factory one takes a crap, you're not under warranty, or most guys buying these trucks now are out of warranty. It's not going to be covered anymore. So make sure you get yourself a low pressure fuel pump. There's different manufacturers that make them. Suspension. This really doesn't tie into performance too much. I just wanted to show that I do have a 3.5-inch suspension lift kit on here. I got blocks in the rear and blocks up front. Some of you may be asking, why only a 3.5? Well, there you have it. I cut wood, I split wood, I burn wood every year. I'm not going to be staring at a tailgate, trying to pull wood off the tailgate, staring me right in the face. American flag. If you don't have one, I recommend you get yourself one. Okay, cold air intake. I chose to go with a no limits cold air intake there. Very easy to install. Very capable of more power than what I plan to run with this specific engine on this specific truck. But yes, it is very capable. I recommend it. Next thing I have, is a aftermarket intake elbow here. Now, remember what I talked about earlier about some people will say, oh, I did an intake, cold air intake exhaust, I got this much horsepower now, blah, blah, blah. Wrong. Even now with these two modifications that I have on here, they're not really doing that much justification until I upgrade my intercooler and the rest of the intercooler pipes. Look at this intercooler pipe. Okay, I mean, let me see if I can get a better angle at it. Yeah, right there, very good angle. See how it's 3 inches here and it just slims down? That is so restrictive, entirely restrictive, counterproductive, and I'm not gonna see really any intake, you know, increases in performance-wise until I take care of that in the intercooler itself. All right, you know, things tie into each other. Last thing I want to talk about here that I have on my truck, I did a single turbo conversion. Okay, this is a homemade conversion, not the turbo, obviously, but we're talking about the plumbing up there. You know, it's all homemade pedestal. Let me rephrase that. It was a modified factory pedestal. However, you know, I chose to make a separate pedestal with the help of a friend, you know, to make that possible, so I'm not out there, you know, spending $3,000 just for a conversion kit. Like I said in my do-it-yourself video, they're great. They are awesome, very professional, very clean looking. It's just not in my budget. Now this turbo, I have the BorgWarner 366 SXE. Okay, it is a awesome turbocharger. It lights quickly. You know, it spools, it holds boost, it puts out it does what I need to do. It's a perfect charger because I still tow with my truck. I still use my truck as a truck. It's not 8 inches, 12 inches lifted, you know, for going out in the fields and everything else and stuff like that. You know, I can still do that without, you know, a 12-inch lift and everything else. I'm getting away from here. The turbocharger, it is very reliable. If you're going to stick with your factory units, just be prepared. You're going to have to do some maintenance with them. The seals tend to blow out and take a shit somewhere around 150,000 miles. You know, when it comes to turbocharging, your options are endless. Just do a little bit of research and see what's good for you. Let me think here. Let me try to get this at a good angle. All right. Now back there, you can see at my fingertip, that's the, you know, that's an EGR block off plate for one of the EGR coolers. What I plan to put in there this summer is an external wastegate. That's where I'm going to mount that sucker. Okay. Now I want to talk about real quick head studs. Okay. Now the 6.4 design, cylinder head bolts, they're thicker. There's more of them around the cylinder than what was on the 6.0. I had a 6.0. I had to stud it. The 6.4s, you don't have to stud. Okay. If you're looking for reliability and you're not beating the shit out of your truck, you know, you don't have to stud your truck. That's why I'm going to put that external wastegate on there, so I'm not boosting over, you know, 40 psi, 45 psi. You know, it's some people are going to sit here and say, you know what, you know, you're an idiot for not having head studs on there. I have them. They're in a box in the basement. I didn't get around to putting them on. You know, I had to do this entire conversion here in my driveway, so obviously the cab didn't come up. You know, it's a cab on installation, and I plan on doing the head studs the same way. You know, when it's time for me to do head gaskets, I will do head studs. Now, when I purchase this, I'm in the makes of buying a 6.4 engine from somebody right now. Hopefully it goes through, and that is going to be a complete build. And I'd be stupid not to put head studs on it while I have it there on the engine stand. That's just a no-brainer. If you can do it, do it. It's not going to hurt anything. But what I will say is I'm pushing 200,000 miles with this truck right now, and I have not had a head gasket issue yet. That's one of the purposes of having a programmer where you can monitor or even get yourself some gauges. You need to be able to monitor your boost pressures. So when I do install that external wastegate, and you know, I'm holding that pedal to the boards like most of us love to do every now and then, and if it should fail, that is the purpose of having some kind of monitoring capabilities. You know, oh shit, I'm boosting, you know, 46 psi, let me back off the throttle. you know, stuff like that. You know, I hope this video helped you guys out. The setup that I have here is reliable. It's not nowhere near 1,000 horsepower, but that's not my goal with this truck. This is my daily driver. I tow with this truck. I go back and forth to work with this truck. You know, I don't need to, you know, blow the doors off of, you know, somebody going down the road just because, you know, just because I can. You know, take care of your things. In the diesel world, many of us know in the arena, you have to pay to play. These are just some simple modifications you can do to increase the longevity of your 6.4 engine. You know, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to see another 100,000 miles, you know, with no catastrophic issues, catastrophic failures.